Look, one of these kits costs literally more than 4 times the other. But here's the wild part. After 6 weeks of washing the exact same car, the cheap one actually beat the expensive one in a category that, honestly, nobody sees coming. Right, so on the left, we've got the Chemical Guys Bucket Wash Kit. Runs you about $105, give or take. And on the right, the Meguiars Complete Car Care Kit. That one is just $24.88 at Walmart.
Now, before you just assume the expensive one automatically wins everything, we're going to show you exactly where that extra money actually goes, and, well, where it doesn't.
Oh, and you're definitely going to want to stick around because we're also going to reveal the one massive mistake that ruins both of these kits in the very first month. And spoiler alert, it is not the soap, it is not the bucket, and it is definitely not the price. Okay, let me set the scene for you. 6 months ago, Sunday morning, I'm out in the driveway with a $5 sponge and a bottle of Dawn dish soap I literally just borrowed from the kitchen. Marcus pulls up, watches me for, I don't know, about 90 seconds, and just goes, "Please tell me you're not washing clear coat with Dawn." Let's just say I said some things back. Anyway, 2 years of using that sponge and that dish soap, and man, in the right sunlight, that RAV4 looked like somebody buffed it with straight-up sandpaper. Absolute Swirl City.
Yeah, and that is exactly when Dean finally asked the real question. What is the actual difference between a $25 box and a $105 bucket? So we bought both. Washed the exact same car every single Saturday for 6 weeks. We kept meticulous notes on everything. Soap life, drying time, wheels, glass, the whole shebang. So here's what actually went down.
All right, first up, let's look at the boxes themselves. Meguiar's gives you 6 pieces in a neat little gift box. You've got your ultimate wash and wax, hybrid ceramic detailer, perfect clarity glass cleaner, quick interior detailer, hot shine tire foam, and 1 microfiber towel, all for $25. Now, Chemical Guys, they give you a 4.25-gallon clear bucket, a lid, the Cyclone Dirt Trap, plus Mr. Pink and Citrus Wash and Gloss shampoos, Diablo Wheel Cleaner, After Wash Spray, a chenille wash mitt, and 2 of those giant Miracle Dryer towels. That's roughly 10 or 11 pieces, depending on how you want to count them, for $105. So let's just do the math on that for a second. Per item, Meguiar's comes out to about $4 a bottle. Chemical Guys, you're looking at closer to $10. And you know, the budget guy in me hears those numbers and immediately goes, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're catching it now. But hold on, because right here is the very first trap. See, you aren't just comparing 10 bottles to 6 bottles. What you're really comparing is a box of chemicals against an entire wash system. Things like the bucket, the dirt trap, the mitt, the towels. Well, that's not inventory. That is equipment. And equipment, my friends, is exactly where the real money lives. We'll definitely circle back to that, because it completely changes the final verdict.
Okay, let's get into the wash itself. Week 1, we suds both sides of the car with their respective soaps. Mr. Pink going up against Ultimate Wash and Wax. And here's the thing that practically nobody tells you about Chemical Guys. Their soap is highly concentrated. 16 ounces of Mr. Pink, mixed at roughly an ounce per 5-gallon bucket, gives you about 80 gallons of wash water. That translates to 15 or 16 washes out of just 1 bottle.
Right, and Meguiars dilutes at about an ounce per 3 gallons, so you're looking at somewhere between 8 and 12 washes. Both are totally fine. But here's where I have to throw the flag. Week 2, I decided to pour an entire full bottle of Mr. Pink into 1 bucket, just to see what would happen. Man, you should have seen the suds. It literally looked like a high-end car commercial, but the car washed exactly as clean as Marcus's side, where he actually used the correct amount. Look, foam is mostly just marketing. Lubricity is what actually protects your paint, and honestly, both of these soaps have plenty of it.
Yeah, except you wasted the entire expensive bottle, Dean.
Hey, it's called testing, all right? For science. Plus, that bubblegum smell is a really nice bonus.
All right, moving on to week 3, we get to the part that actually matters. And honestly, this is where I earn my paycheck. The entire Chemical Guys kit is built around the 2-bucket method. Bucket 1 has the Cyclone Dirt Trap. That's an insert sitting at the bottom to trap the grit that falls off your mitt, ensuring it never rides back up onto your paint. Bucket 2, that's just clean rinse water. The process is mitt goes into the dirty bucket, drags across the trap, drops the dirt, then goes into the clean bucket, and finally back onto the car. That is the system, and if you've never done this before, it is super simple. Dirty bucket, clean bucket. Mitt in one, rinse in the other. Back on the car. About 30 seconds per panel, and that's the whole routine.
And Meguiars? Well, you get exactly 1 microfiber towel in the box, and no wash mitt at all. If you show up with that kit and just your own old sponge, you are literally grinding whatever happens to be in that sponge straight into your clear coat. That is exactly how we ended up with Swirl City on my RAV4 in the first place.
Exactly. And look, I know exactly what the budget crowd is shouting at the screen right now. You're saying, I can buy a 5-gallon bucket for $15, grab a standalone grit guard for about 10, and just build the 2-bucket system myself. And you know what? You absolutely can. That's definitely the smart play, and we'll talk about exactly who should do that at the very end. But here is my counterpunch, and it lands hard. The Chemical Guys kit is strictly exterior only. Exterior, you want your interior cleaned? Not in this box. Windshield? Not in this box. Meanwhile, the Meguiars kit covers the whole car. You get an interior detailer, a glass cleaner, tire foam. You could do a full top-to-bottom detail of a 15-year-old SUV with that one $25 box, inside and out. That $100 bucket over there, it can't even touch the interior, unless you go out and buy more stuff.
Okay, he's not wrong about that. But here is where it gets really interesting, and listen up, because this is our halfway point. Somewhere around week 2, it hit us. We realized we weren't actually comparing two car kits. We were comparing a box of chemicals against a hardware wash system. And let me tell you, that changes the entire argument.
And here is that twist we teased at the very top. The $25 kit completely won the glass test, flat out. We used perfect clarity on the windshield, followed by one pass with a hybrid ceramic detailer, and man, that glass was so clear, the bugs looked nervous flying near it. The $100 kit, it doesn't even ship with a glass cleaner. You have to buy one separately.
But then we put both cars under a harsh work light after those 6 weeks, and the paint told the real story. The side washed with the Meguiars kit and the sponge, well, it already had swirls, so we're not blaming the kit for those, but it absolutely picked up new marring around the door handles and the rear bumper. The side wash with the Chemical Guys bucket and the chenille knit, noticeably cleaner, way less micro-scratching, simply because the grit never came back up to the surface.
So let's look at the scoreboard right now. Price, Meguiars takes it, and it's not even close. Coverage, Meguiars again. Glass, Meguiars. But paint safety week over week, that goes to Chemical Guys. And honestly, that one's also not close.
Now, let's talk about drying, because this is where these two kits feel the most radically different, and it has nothing to do with the soap. The Chemical Guys kit ships with 2 miracle dryer towels, those big, thirsty waffle weave things. Literally one pass and they just drink up the water. I dried my half of the RAV4 in about 6 minutes flat. Absolutely no streaks, 0 spots.
And the Meguiars kit? It generously gives me exactly one standard microfiber towel. I was out there drying the same car for about 20 minutes, and I had to wring that tiny thing out 4 different times. Doing that in the sun, yeah, that means water spots. My wife actually watched me do it and asked if we own the squeegee.
So yeah, the drying gear is a very real part of that $105 price tag. And while we're down there, we have to talk about wheels, because this one genuinely surprises people too. The Chemical Guys kit actually cleans wheels. Diablo's an active gel that breaks down brake dust. You just spray it on, wait 2 minutes, agitate it a bit, and rinse. The Meguiars kit, it doesn't clean wheels at all. Hot Shine Foam is just that. It shines tires that are already clean. It cannot touch baked-on brake dust.
And that's exactly the thing. The Meguiars box calls itself a complete car care kit. And sure it is for basic maintenance. But there is absolutely nothing in that box that's going to strip a year of baked-on brake dust off your rims.
Exactly. A wheel cleaner is an active tool. Tire Shine is just a finishing product. 2 completely different jobs. Okay, now let's talk about the money you actually spend over a whole year, because this is where that expensive bucket gets a lot cheaper than it looks.
Right, so let's assume 1 wash a week. That's 52 washes a year. The Meguiars chemicals, the wash, the detailer, the tire foam, they're going to run out, and you have to rebuy them. Call it 3 or 4 refills a year at $25 a pop. You're looking at roughly $75 to $100 a year just in consumable products.
And looking at the Chemical Guys side, sure, the soaps run out the exact same way. But here is the big catch. About 2/3 of that $105 price tag is the hardware. The bucket, the dirt trap, the wash mitt, those big towels. That's a one-time buy that lasts for years. By year 2, you're literally only buying soap. So that per wash cost flips somewhere around month 8 or 9. The bucket kit actually gets cheaper per wash once you hit year 2.
Plus, let's be real, the bucket doubles as a seat. I honestly can't tell you how many times Dean was squatting down by the fender, complaining about his knees, while I just parked myself comfortably right on the bucket. That level of comfort is easily worth $10 of the price tag right there.
We are absolutely not putting that in the pros column.
Too late. It's already in the pros column.
All right. Now for the segment that's actually going to save you money. These are the things we really wish somebody had told us before we bought either of these. First up, the big one. The massive mistake we promised to tell you about at the top of the explainer. It's the dilution ratios. Look, Chemical Guys soap is heavily concentrated, and Meguiars is too. Dumping a full bottle into one bucket doesn't just waste your money. It actually leaves a nasty film that hazes over as soon as it hits the sun. Read the back of the bottle and measure it out.
The right amount of soap is almost always way less than you think, every single time.
Second mistake, thinking the grit guard is a free pass. It's not. It traps the dirt that naturally falls off your mitt, but it does not clean the mitt for you. You still have to rinse that mitt in the clean water bucket, or vigorously drag it across the trap, on every single pass. If you buy the premium bucket kit and then skip setting up a second clean bucket, congratulations, you just paid $105 for a very nice piece of plastic. Third mistake, and hey, this one is specifically for the Meguiars folks. That kit gives you exactly one microfiber towel. One. If you use that single towel on your dirty wheels and then immediately wipe down your paint, you are literally grinding abrasive brake dust right into your clear coat. Please assign your towels. Wheels get one dedicated towel, paint gets a clean one. And make sure to dry the car before that soap film dries on it, especially during the hot summer. Fourth, that Diablo wheel cleaner, it needs a couple of minutes to actually work, but it absolutely cannot dry on the wheel. You spray it, wait, agitate it, and rinse it off. If you let that stuff bake in the midday sun, you'll be out there scrubbing for an hour. And the last mistake, this goes for both kits. Do not leave the bucket sitting out in the sun between washes. The heat cooks the leftover soap, and a microfiber towel just sitting on an open garage shelf is going to pick up all kinds of dust and grit. Rinse it, dry it, store it properly.
Okay, it's verdict time. And since we're totally allowed to disagree here, let's do this properly. Look, if you're someone who only washes your car maybe once a month, or you basically live at the Coin-Op car wash, or you just want the car to look clean without turning it into a whole weekend hobby, the Meguiars Complete Car Kit at $25 is hands down the best value in car care this year, full stop. 6 solid products, absolutely zero learning curve, and the whole car is covered. That is the buy for you.
Wait a second. You're literally making my argument for me.
Hey, I'm a fair guy.
Fine, then here is mine. If your car's paint actually matters to you, if you're the kind of person who purposefully avoids parking under trees and checks your clear coat under a work light, the Chemical Guys bucket is the foundation of a real wash system that you can build on. The dirt trap, the ultra-soft chenille mitt, those massive real drying towels, that right there is the fundamental difference between safely washing a car and slowly wearing the paint down over time. $105 for a system that actively keeps swirls out for years, that is the true enthusiast buy.
So, what's the actual play for everybody else out there?
The smart play, and honestly, this is the one conclusion we actually both agree on, is a hybrid. If you really want the best of both worlds, go grab the Meguiars kit so you get all those great chemicals. Then spend about $25 extra on a standard bucket, a standalone grit guard, and a cheap but soft wash mitt. You get the full coverage, the interior, the crystal clear glass, plus the crucial paint safety, all for about $50 total. That right there is the absolute sweet spot.
Yep, and if you simply won't commit to using 2 buckets and a dedicated mitt, then honestly, do not buy the expensive one. You'll just be that guy paying $105 for a seat.
Exactly. So buy the kit that actually matches the kind of washer you really are, not the washer you wish you were.
Meguiars for the casual clean.
Chemical Guys to protect the paint.
And if you buy the expensive one and never actually build that second clean bucket,
Well, then you just bought a very